Yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
So far, the Yankees have done the Texas two-step here in the Lone Star State. They have won the first 2 games of this 4-game series against the Texas Rangers. Yes, it's another hot one. Temperatures near 100 degrees this afternoon, and Yankee fans are hoping their team can stay hot. As tonight, the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It'll be the Yankees against the Texas Rangers in Game 3 of a 4-game series from Globe Life Park in Arlington, Texas. Hi, everybody. Ken Singleton along with John Flaherty once again tonight. Thank you for watching Yankees baseball on Yes. Well, the Yankees had a comeback last night. They fell behind 5-0 in the first inning, and then they scored 21 unanswered runs and won the ball game by a score of 21-5. Well, as you might expect, there are a lot of hitting heroes to choose from, but Flash, we're going to choose Didi Gregorius to highlight tonight.
Well, Gregorius has really picked up his game during the month of July. He's playing a lot better defensively and offensively, swinging the bat a whole lot better. That was his 5th home run of the year. And when you watch Gregorius in some of these swings, swinging early in the count, he's awfully aggressive, and he is being rewarded for it. He's had a couple of really nice games here in Texas, looking to continue that tonight.
Let's check on the numbers from Didi. A career-high 4 runs batted in on Monday night, and last night a career-high 4 hits. His last 6 games, he's hitting .600, 12 for 20 with 9 runs batted in. Defensively, he's been excellent. He has not made an error this month. Last night, Didi talked about the keys to his success as he talked to Meredith Marakovitz.
Better pitch selection and all that stuff. So, talking to all those guys, they told me trying to be patient, and if it's a good pitch, a good first pitch, and try to get a good hat at it. So that's what I'm doing right now, and it's been working.
I want to talk about Didi, what he's been doing. I mean, he's getting 3 or 4 hits on 6 pitches every day, it seems like. So that's something. I'm not exactly getting a lot of donut swings on deck, but it sure is fun to watch, and I got the best seat.
Let's check out tonight's pitching matchup brought to you by People's United Bank NA. See what know-how can do for you. For the Texas Rangers, it's going to be Colby Lewis. He's having a good year with a 10-4 record. And for the Yankees Flash, it's going to be Masahiro Tanaka looking for his 4th straight win.
Yeah, that's good news for the Yankees. Tanaka has been throwing the ball well lately. You mentioned, Kenny, the 3 wins in a row. And when everybody talks about Tanaka, you always think about the split finger. I think he's more of a complete pitcher than that. His slider has gotten better. Throwing a good one right there in the dirt, and he's got plenty of hop on the fastball. Tanaka on a good run.
So the Yankees trying to make it 5 in a row on this road trip. They want to keep the line moving. Yankees and the Texas Rangers coming up next right here on Yes. You tried great tasting 5-hour energy lately by La Quinta Inns and Suites. Wake up on the bright side at La Quinta Inns and Suites. Book now at LQ.com. by Advanced Radiation Centers of New York. When it comes to fighting cancer, precision is everything. Call 844-2-RADIATION-DOC. And by Honda. Great deals are on at the Summer Honda Clearance Event. There's the outside of Globe Life Park as the Yankees get ready for Game 3. Alex Rodriguez, he's had a very good road trip as his ball club. The Yankees have won 4 out of 5. And we'll check out the Yankees starting lineup presented by Lexus. At the very top, it's going to be Jacoby Ellsbury. He'll be in center field. Following him, Brett Gardner in left. The designated hitter is Alex Rodriguez. Cleaning up tonight is Brian McCann, the catcher. Carlos Beltran will be out in right field. Chase Headley, red hot. He'll be at third base. Garrett Jones playing first base tonight. Mark Teixeira getting the night off. Didi Gregorius will be at short. And Stephen Drew will bat ninth. He'll be at second base.
That lineup for the New York Yankees going to face the veteran Colby Lewis, getting ready to start his warm-up tosses, and we'll look at his numbers on the year. Having a good year. He's won 10 games already. 10-4, 4.49 ERA. And let's check out our pitcher scouting report, which is brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. You think of Colby Lewis, you think of a lot of off-speed pitches. He'll throw fastball, slider, curveball, change. And he's coming off 3 strong starts, 2-0 with a 2.86 ERA. And he has pitched at least 7 innings in those games. And that'll be important tonight because the bullpen was beat up last night. They used 7 pitchers in all. One of the pitchers was actually a position player, Rosales. So obviously they're looking for a little length from Colby Lewis tonight.
Let's check out the Texas Rangers on defense presented by Geico. Let's go from left to right in the outfield. It'll be Hamilton to Shields and Chu. In the infield from third to first, Beltre, Andrus, Odor, Moreland, and Chirinos doing the catching for Colby Lewis tonight here in Texas. As Lewis finishes up his warm-up tosses, he's 2-3 in his career against the New York Yankees, but he's been pitching some very good baseball of late for these Texas Rangers. He's 6-1 in his last 10 starts. And he beat the Yankees going back to May 22nd at Yankee Stadium. 6 2/3, 8 hits, 5 runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. That was a game that the Rangers, it's kind of a wide open ball game. The Rangers won it by a score of 10-9 as Lewis got credited with the victory. Well, there's Jeff Pentland and his assistant Alan Cockrell. Those are the hitting coaches for the Yankees. And boy, they must be very, very happy. Last night, the Yankees, 19 hits. A season high in hits for the Yankees. 10 of the 19 hits came in the second inning when the Yankees scored 11 runs to erase that 5-0 deficit. We're just about ready here to go. The Yankees are trying to get things going again tonight with the bats. As Colby Ellsbury is going to lead it off. Now, Ellsbury is one of the Yankees who's kind of having a slow road trip. He's 2 for 19 on the trip. And Flash, I always thought there's certain guys who are not hitting. But the Yankees have enough guys hitting right now to carry the guys who aren't. Yeah, I was actually thinking that when we showed the hitting instructors in the dugout. There are always a guy or two that you're worried about trying to get them back on track. And in this case, it's Ellsbury. We'll see what he does tonight. Here comes the first pitch of the ball game. And it is over the outside corner for a call strike. Lewis fastball somewhere around 90. That might be where he tops out. Not really a hard thrower. Yeah, velocity is not the concern. The concern is a slider. He's got a good one and he throws it a lot. There it is right there, and it's in there for strike 2. 0-2 on Ellsbury. Lewis has had 10 or more wins in 5 different seasons for these Texas Rangers. Breaking ball hit on the ground to the right side. Coupled of his Moreland. Lewis over the cover. And he just beats Ellsbury to the bag for the out. 1 down. Well, we mentioned it's hot. Let's check out the official game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. You can see, wow, it's warmer than last night. 99 degrees. The wind at 8 miles per hour. The humidity, good thing it's down there at 31%. Forecast mostly clear. As hot as the Yankees. How about that? So 1 up, 1 down. And it'll bring up Brett Gardner. Gardner set a career high last night. He scored 5 runs in the ball game. And now has 72 runs scored on the season. He had a home run here last night, his 11th of the year. One of several Yankees who got it together in the ball game with the bats last night. Lewis deals, and the first pitch hits the corner for a call strike. Home plate umpire is Jordan Baker. This is what Gardner has done in this ballpark. Over the years, the Yankees have had several players who have hit very well here. I think of Paul O'Neill, Bernie Williams. That pitch is high and in. It's a ball and a strike.
Well, it is a great stadium to hit in. We know the ball carries, and if you think about the pitching staffs here in Texas over the years have not been the strength of their club.
Outside for a ball, 2-1. One thing is that the field is usually infielders baked. So if you hit something on the ground and it's headed towards the hole, it's usually going to make it through. And one thing I noticed about in front of the home plate area, they really wet it down. Swing and a miss on a changeup, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that's to help the pitchers out, so that first hop doesn't really get the ball rolling, so to speak. Kind of slows things down. Got to give pitchers somewhere to go. You throw enough grounders, maybe that can help you out. 2-2 the count on Brett Gardner. Slider, and it looks like it clipped him. Hit by a pitch, and Gardner's going to head down to first base.
We talked about the slider from Lewis. That is his bread and butter pitch, and he tries to go to it on a 2-strike count. Just yanks it down and in, catches the toe of Brett Gardner.
So Gardner heads to first base, and Alex Rodriguez will come to the plate. Alex drove in a run here last night. He's moved into the top 10 in the league in runs batted in with 60. And he's currently on a 4-game hitting streak. First pitch, he takes it upstairs for ball 1. 24 home runs on the year. He's had 20 hits this month of July. 9 of them are home runs. They've left the ballpark. Pitch is hit in the air towards left center field, and the left fielder might have a problem finding it, but it's going to be the shortstop, Andrus, back on the grass to make the play for out number 2. So Alex Rodriguez pops up to the shortstop, and to bring up the cleanup hitter, Brian McCann. Mark Teixeira getting the night off. And McCann kind of falls into the same category as Ellsbury. He's 1 for 10 on the trip and 9 for his last 50. And as Flash mentioned, it's very rare that everybody's hot in the lineup. But what usually happens, the guys who are really hot start to cool down, and the guys who weren't hot, like McCann and Ellsbury and Carlos Beltran, they start to pick up the pace again.
Yeah, that's what you hope for.
First pitch, and it's hit in the air to left field. Josh Hamilton comes in a few steps, puts it away, and Kobe Lewis has an 11-pitch first inning against the Yankees. So the Yankees do not score. The Rangers are coming up. By your local Acura dealer. Delino DeShields is going to lead it off. He's at center. Rugnet Odor will be at second base, followed by Prince Fielder, the designated hitter. Adrian Beltre will be the cleanup hitter. He'll be at third base. Mitch Moreland's at first. Josh Hamilton's in left field. Elvis Andrus will be at shortstop. Shin So Chu is in right field. And batting ninth and doing the catching, Robinson Chirinos.
That lineup going to face the right-hander Masahiro Tanaka, finishing up his warm-up pitches. We'll look at his numbers on the year. 7-3, 3.64 ERA, and we'll look at our pitcher scouting report, which is always brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And the last time out might have been the best we've seen Tanaka this year. 7 2/3, did not walk anybody, at 7 strikeouts. And as usual lately, he gets an extra day, 5 days in between starts. He usually throws the ball a lot better when he has the extra day, and he's making his Rangers debut. Has never faced the Texas Rangers in his career.
There's some numbers that back up Tanaka's success when he faces a team for the first time, as Delino DeShields will step in. DeShields, plenty of speed. And Tanaka's first pitch is high for ball 1. DeShields, a Rule 5 player. The Rangers picked him up in the Rule 5 draft out of the Houston Astros organization, but he has to remain with the team all season long. Next pitch, it's high for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. I was talking about Tanaka. In his brief major league career, the first time he faces a team, he's 11-2. So he really dominates in his initial outing. That pitch is ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes.
Unusual to see Tanaka fall behind 3-0. His last outing, he threw 77 strikes out of 101 pitches against Baltimore, and they were quality strikes, corner to corner. Really had a nice game.
3-0 pitch, and that is in there for a call strike. You saw the numbers on DeShields. 272. He has yet to hit a home run. 16 runs batted in. His game is speed. He has stolen 16 bases. The 3-1 pitch, slider, breaks in there for a strike, and it's 3-2. DeShields is an excellent bunter, although now with 2 strikes, Headley can drop back.
There's that slider. It's up in the zone. Brian McCann brings it back down. Jordan Baker, the home plate umpire, gives him the call.
Here's our first 3-2 pitch of the night, and it's outside for ball 4. DeShields will take it down to first base. While we have a chance, we'll check out the Yankees on defense, presented by Geico. We've got Gardner in left, Ellsbury in center, Beltran in right. Headley, Gregorius, and Drew and Jones at first base tonight. They round out the infield, and Brian McCann doing the catching for Masahiro Tanaka. Tanaka walks the first man tonight, and he happens to be the hitter that has the base runner that has the most steals for the Rangers this year in DeShields. Here's Odor at the plate, and a toss to first, and DeShields gets back. Now, if that name is familiar, Delino DeShields, his dad played in the major leagues for 13 years. There's a throw over the first. He just got back, and his dad was a base stealer as well. Delino DeShields Sr. stole 463 major league bases for Montreal, the Dodgers, the Cardinals, the Orioles, and the Cubs. Good lead over there at first. Another toss. He got him. He picked him off. Tanaka with a quick move to first, and DeShields is out. And I wonder if the Rangers are going to challenge this.
They're going to wait to see a replay to see if they want to challenge it. Good quick move. You mentioned the big lead, Kenny.
Ooh, that was close. Here's a better angle, Flash.
There it is on Yesmo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. It looks like he is out. And when you watch his lead, Kenny, that front hip has opened up towards second base, so it takes him a while to turn back around.
Yeah.
Tanaka took advantage of it.
The Rangers are not going to challenge it, and DeShields has been picked off.
Yeah, there's the lead and how he opens up his front hip. Now he's got to turn completely back around and try to get back to the bag, and just a little too late.
So here's the first pitch to Odor, and he'll take it knee high for a call strike. Odor came into this series red hot. He'd been 9 for 21, but he's 0 for 9 in the first 2 games of this series. The Yankees have cooled him off. Next pitch, one hopper to Stephen Drew at second, and there's 2 down here for the Rangers in the first inning.
Kenny, I was interested to see how the Rangers respond coming back out here tonight after having a 5-0 lead last night and losing 21-5. And terrible numbers at home, 16-28 record here in Arlington.
There's their manager, Jeff Bannister, who's seen his team lose 12 of their last 13 games at home. Here's Prince Fielder. He's been their best hitter this year, hitting at .333. And the first pitch is low and away for ball 1. Fielder also with 15 home runs, 58 runs batted in. And he's hitting 24 of his last 29 games. So he's been very consistent. .10 pitch, little number, fair ball. Tanaka has it, throws to Jones, and Tanaka will have a 10-pitch inning. Helped himself out by picking off Delino DeShields for the first out of the inning. No score here in Texas. Official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. And here's how the conversation goes of the trades that have been made over the last week. Which has surprised you the most and why? At Matt_Sereno7 says too low to the Jays. They already had a dangerous offense and still need to address their pitching problems to compete. I kind of agree with that. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag #YankeesPrius to keep the conversation going. Here's Carlos Beltran. He will lead it off for the Yankees here in a second. Beltran just 1 for 14 on the trip and takes the first pitch downstairs for a ball. Well, we're in the second inning. Last night, the Yankees were batting for 32 minutes in the second inning. That pitch is low for ball 2. And an historic second inning it was. It was the only game in Major League history in which a team led by 5 runs or more after its first time at bat, that being the Rangers, and then we're losing by 5 runs or more going into their second at bat. First time it ever happened. This ball's hit hard and it's a foul ball. Beltran just missing an extra base hit.
Rocket off of the bat of Carlos Beltran, just foul. You mentioned trying to pick it up a little bit, Kenny. That would have helped out.
Well, the Yankees 11-run inning was their biggest inning without a home run since 1987. They hit for 32 minutes in the top of the second yesterday. Pitch is fouled off once again by Beltran. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the Rangers are the second team in the expansion era to score 5 or more first inning runs in a game in which they were held without a hit for the remainder of the game. The Mets did that in 2006. Pitch to Beltran, another shot foul down the first base side. Tony Pena should be pointing over the fair territory.
You know, Kenny, when you have one of those games, you score 21 runs and you have a big comeback, the offense is going to get all the attention, and rightfully so. But the bullpen for the Yankees, Diego Moreno, great job coming in, settling things down. Adam Warren worked 3 scoreless innings. The bullpen not giving up a hit yesterday.
Beltran leading it off for the Yankees. It's the 7th pitch of this at bat. It's in the dirt. The count is run full at 3-2. About the bullpen the last 2 nights here in Texas. 12 in the 3rd innings. They haven't given up a hit. No runs, 11 strikeouts, and 4 walks. The Yankees bullpen leads the major leagues in strikeouts with 349. The payoff pitch, and Beltran will foul it off. So if nothing else, Beltran is making Colby Lewis work here in the 2nd inning, and he still doesn't have an out.
This is one of those at bats. If you're Carlos Beltran, you want to be rewarded with a base hit. You've seen a lot of pitches. You've hit a couple of balls hard, just foul. See if you can finish it off.
3-2 pitch. Beltran drives it to right field, hits it pretty well. Going back is Chu. He looks up, and this one is gone. A home run for Carlos Beltran, and the Yankees jump out in front 1-0. Into the Rangers bullpen. And the Yankees score again here in the 2nd inning. This time they used the long ball.
Well, a great at bat all the way around. Even if you didn't pick up a base hit, the home run is just a bonus. 3-2 sinking fastball, and Carlos Beltran had good swings the entire at bat. Just drives this one into the Ranger bullpen. 9th home run of the year. An early lead for the Yankees.
Here's Chase Headley. He'll take a pitch outside for a ball. That was 386 feet into the Rangers bullpen.
Great look from the side. You get the front foot down, the extension right back through the middle of the field.
Swing and a miss by Headley, and the count is a ball and a strike. Now Headley, we could have featured him in an open. He's had 3 straight multi-hit games. 18 games in the month of July that he's played in. He's hitting .377. Swing and a miss, and that is 1-2. And here we go, the Honda League leaders. The averages in the month of July, only one batter in the league has been better than him. That's Eric Hosmer of the Kansas City Royals. Bogarts, Cabrera, and C.J. Cron. Ball is popped up. That's to the left side. Retreating is Andrus and Beltre. It's going to be Beltre who makes the catch for the first out here in the 2nd. Gary Jones making his 10th start at first base. As we mentioned, Mark Teixeira getting an evening off, at least thus far. Jones is 1 for 6 on this road trip with an RBI. That came in Minnesota. There's Tex. Kind of relaxing, just chilling out in the dugout if you can do that tonight. The pitch is high and away for a ball. I think the Yankees, they have what, 4 days here in Texas? Rangers have to stay here and play the Giants and the Astros. That pitch is outside for a ball, 2-0.
It doesn't get any easier at home for the Rangers. 2 good clubs coming in here after the Yankee series.
Lewis deals and misses the outside corner, falls behind 3 balls and no strikes. That's in there for a strike. The first 3-ball count of the night for Colby Lewis. Garrett Jones gets something to his liking here on this 3-1 pitch. Hits it in the air to left center field. On the move is the Shields. He'll get there and make the catch for out number 2. Jones hit it well, but Delino DeShields runs it down in left center. Out number 2. And here comes Didi Gregorius. In our open, we had a graphic showed you he's 12 for 20 in his last 6 games. With 5 runs scored and 9 runs batted in. He had his first triple of the season last night. He's going to be swinging up there. 206 in April, 232 in May. He's progressed as the season has gone along here.
Yeah, Colby Lewis has been paying attention for 2 days, watching Gregorius go up there and swing at the first pitch he sees and having a lot of success. Because of that, he got a first pitch slider.
He gets another one. That one's low for a ball and a strike. The Yankees have scored here in the 2nd. Carlos Beltran led off the inning with a home run. His 8th of the season. Another rocket, a tough souvenir. We hope everybody's okay. As Gregorius hits a line drive. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, looks like he's all right.
There's Didi and his reaction. He sees it go into the seats. Luckily, everybody seems to be all right.
There's been a lot of talk lately about nets being put up to protect fans. The 0-2 pitch. Sliders in the dirt. Count levels at 2-2. The Yankees 21 runs last night. Their most runs since they scored 22 on August 25th, 2011. Ball is popped up, and it's going to make the seats. That was a game against Oakland. He hit 3 grand slams in that game. That was a major league record. Joe Girardi has seen his team with all this good hitting, decent pitching. Yankees are 16-5 this month, the best record in the major leagues, and that's how they've created this distance between them and the second place team in the American League East. 7 games. Pitches another rocket foul.
Again, hopefully everybody's all right.
And that's why you got to watch the ball game. Hopefully that's ketchup.
Wow. Ooh. And that is a rocket. Pulls it.
Ooh, that gentleman got clipped. Yep. Two balls, 2 strikes on Didi Gregorius. On the left side and through for a base hit. Slaps it the other way and takes a big turn at first, but will hold on. Gregorius pulling a ball that far foul twice and then slapping the ball the other. This is when you're hitting the ball well.
Well, we can add Didi Gregorius to the list of hitters who loves hitting in Arlington. Very productive first couple of games. Now first at bat, you're right, Kenny, just stays inside, slaps it the other way. Gregorius on a great run lately.
Now 13 for his last 21. No chance for Beltran. So Gregorius at first with 2 outs. Stephen Drew, the number 9 hitter, will come to the plate. Drew's had a decent trip. He's 4 for 13. He'll take the first pitch from Lewis in there for a called strike. Some power at the bottom of the order. 13 home runs on the season. And when Drew hits a home run, it's generally a good thing for the Yankees. The Yankees are 9-1 in games that he has homered this year. And he'll take another pitch in there for a called strike. One big giant step, and Gregorius is back to the bag. Low and inside, a good stop by Chirinos on a slider.
Lewis, the veteran pitcher, nice slide step down the hill, disrupts the timing of the hitter, so gives Chirinos a good chance with the running game. Colby Lewis, his name's been thrown around a little bit with the trade deadline coming up, kind of middle of the rotation type guy.
He's been pitching well lately. We said 6-1 in his last 10 starts. Ball is lined towards center field. It's going to be in there for a base hit. Gregorius turns at second. He's going to hold on, but the ball is bobbled by DeShields, and Gregorius will move on to third. So that should go as a single and an error on the center fielder, because Gregorius had stopped at second base.
Nice piece of hitting right back up the middle, and DeShields kind of cruise over and very casually just boots the ball to play in front of Gregorius. He's able to cruise into third.
So the Yankees are threatening with 2 outs as we go back to the top of the order. Gregorius over the third now. You know, coming into tonight's game, Gregorius, the 4th major leaguer to produce 7 hits and 7 runs batted in over a 2-game span this season. That's how hot he's been. Carlos Gonzalez did it earlier this week for the Colorado Rockies. Nolan Arenado, also of the Colorado Rockies, did it this year. And C.J. Cron did it for the Angels this year. So first and third, 2 outs. And that'll bring up Jacoby Ellsbury, who grounded out to first. The pitcher covering in the first inning to start the ball game. This is going to be the 30th pitch of the inning for Colby Lewis. So the Yankees have made him work hard here in the second. Maybe not as hard as Martin Perez last night. Check swing, and did he go around? Yes, as third base umpire Andy Fletcher, strike 1.
A couple of nice blocks by Chirinos in this inning, saving a run right there. Slider down and in, and that is textbook. Get the glove down, the body follows. At a good angle, you deflect the ball right back towards home plate.
The 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed. Now, Ellsbury, in an oddity last night, became the second batter in the last 36 seasons to reach base twice in one game on catcher's interference. The second batter in the last 36 seasons. The last batter to do it was a Texas Ranger at the time. That was David Murphy. He did in 2010. Up and in for a ball. And if you watch Ellsbury swing, and you mentioned this as we were talking about before the game, Flash, how his swing can lead to catcher's interference.
Yeah, I mean, he lets the ball get so deep and he kind of chops down on the baseball, so it can surprise a catcher. And that first at bat last night, Chirinos, catcher's interference. He doesn't really have a whole lot of movement forward in the box, so the swing really happens right around home plate.
He takes one low. Another good block by Chirinos, and the count is 2-2. If nothing else, Lewis is keeping the ball down this inning.
This is a look back. This is the first at bat of the game. I mean, that just doesn't tip the glove. That takes it right off his hand.
Lucky he wasn't injured.
Yeah.
2-2 with 2 outs and 2 on for the Yankees. They have a run in. They've had 3 hits this inning. Ground ball, foul down the first base side.
Manager Jeff Bannister watching in the dugout can't be pleased with this. 45 pitches already. I mentioned that bullpen was taxed last night.
35th pitch of the inning coming on. .35 pitches into last night's second inning. Yankees probably had about 6 or 7 runs. And then 11-run outburst. Ellsbury hits it towards the middle into center field for a base hit. Gregorius will score. Drew stops at second. It's a 2-0 lead for the Yankees.
You know, there was a time for this New York Yankee team where if they didn't hit home runs, they didn't score. Those days are over. The lineup right now that's balanced. A great job at 2-out hitting to extend this inning. And Ellsbury has been scuffling a little bit lately. Good at bat, takes a breaking ball right back up the middle. Great look from the side, how he doesn't really travel a whole lot forward. Everything happens right around home plate. Big hit.
Still 2 men on for Brett Gardner. Ellsbury's 17th run batted in of the season. Gardner was hit by a pitch in the first inning, hitting the foot. Swinging at the first pitch and pulls it foul. Maybe not the run scoring the Yankees had in last night's second inning, but they have gotten on the board again here in tonight's second inning.
You like everything about this club offensively right now. You think back to the middle game in Minnesota, they were behind. Fought their way back with Alex Rodriguez and the 3 home runs. Think about last night, you're down early, no big deal, you go out and score 21 runs.
That's in the dirt, scooped up by Chirinos. And it's a ball and a strike on Gardner. I mentioned Gardner scoring 5 runs last night. He has now scored 72 on the season. He's tied for second in the league in run scoring. Only Mike Trout has scored more. And Gardner, excellent in these situations. Pitch is hit in the air to left field. Hamilton over towards the line. He's there, makes the catch, and that's going to retire the Yankees. They didn't get 11, but they did get a couple. They lead 2-0.
Hours away, manager Joe Girardi was asked earlier today whether or not he feels as though the team needs an upgrade to their starting rotation to contend.
You know what? As I've said all along, you know, that puts me in a tough bind when you ask me questions like these guys have gotten us to this point, and I don't know if we're going to do anything. I don't know if we're going to match up with other teams. So I believe in the guys in that room to get the job done, and I'll continue to focus as those guys. So we'll see.
That question coming on the heels of the news that Tigers general manager Dave Dombrowski told multiple outlets that Detroit is ready to reboot, making a previously unattainable asset in David Price attainable. Now, Joe Girardi would not specifically comment on what Price could mean to the Yankees, but he did say that is a pitcher that's going to make a difference wherever he goes. And he added, when you're a pitcher of that caliber, there's an awful lot expected of you, but he's an outstanding pitcher and an outstanding human being. It's going to be an interesting story to follow, and as you near Friday, you're going to know whether or not he remains a Tiger. Guys, he's pitching to a 2.53 ERA. He's definitely going to help a team out there.
Yeah, former Cy Young Award winner David Price. You can look at his record with the Tigers. He's 9-4, as Meredith said. His ERA 2.53, and he'll be a free agent at the end of the year. So maybe, you know, a team that wants to get him would have to get some sort of agreement done before a trade is made. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Beltre, leading it off, and he checks his swing. Did he go? No, he's going to appeal it first, and the umpire says no. That is Paul Emmel. He says he did not swing.
We'll take a look from the side. Good call. You know, Kenny, I just wonder with David Price out there now to slows down the Cole Hamels discussion. I think everybody thought he was going to get traded first, but now a whole different equation with David Price out there.
Beltre lines it into left field. It's going to be a leadoff single for the Rangers' third baseman. That's his first hit of the series. He's now 1 for 9. First Texas Ranger hit of the ball game.
I mentioned Tanaka looked so good his last time out, and this is a split that just kind of rolls a little bit. Stays up, and Beltre takes care of it. Already we've seen a walk from Tanaka. We didn't see that his last time out. You saw the reaction, not happy with that pitch.
So 1 on, nobody out, and Mitch Moreland, the first baseman, will step in for the Texas Rangers. And Moreland will take a pitch over the outside corner for a call strike. Texas first baseman, 1 for 4 in his series. He's having a pretty good season. 285, 16 homers, and you see the 51 runs batted in. He's also had 13 extra base hits in his last 24 games, so he's not been stopping at first base very often lately. Tanaka deals, and it moves him off the plate. 1-1. And not quite hitting like he did in June. He was the Rangers Player of the Month in June. You know, they can those home runs and RBIs and batting average. Batting average goes up and down. Home runs and RBIs, once you get them, you keep them. That pitch is low. Ball 2, 2-1. The Yankees have shifted with Moreland at the plate. 3 infielders on the right side of the infield. The outfield is just about straight away. The 2-1 pitch. He tops it foul. 2-2. Marlins spent some time on the DL earlier this year. Had to deal with some injuries. Beltre was out for a while. DeShields was out for a while. Hamilton for a while. Yu Darvish, their #1 pitcher, out for the season, dealing with Tommy John surgery. Full count. Pitches in the dirt. So in the early going, Flash, Tanaka not quite as sharp as last time.
No, I thought last time was probably one of the best games we had seen from Tanaka as far as location was concerned. A lot of swings and misses. Off to a little sluggish start here in this one.
Second 3-ball count. Second full count for Tanaka. Check swing, and it is ball 4. As Andy Fletcher says, Moreland did not offer. So the Rangers put the tying runs on with nobody out here in the second.
They give Moreland some credit for laying off that tough split as Josh Hamilton strolls up to the plate. Not a bad pitch. It's down and it dives out of the zone. Moreland thought about it but was able to hold up.
Here comes Hamilton. Just 5 for his last 27. That's over a 7-game period. He's got Beltre at second and Moreland at first with nobody out here in the second inning. Yankees are up 2-0. First pitch, and that misses. Ball 1. There are the Ranger runners. Look out, it's inside. 2-0. Tanaka continuing to struggle.
Falling behind in some counts, and you know, offensively the Rangers are a decent ball club. They have some power, they have some speed. Tanaka needs to make a big pitch right here.
Line drive, right field. It's going to be in there for a base hit. Beltran's up with it. They're going to wave Beltre home. Moreland's on his way to third. The Rangers are on the board. It's now a 2-1 game. RBI single for Josh Hamilton.
Well, we're going to look at the pitch by pitch to Josh Hamilton. Only 3 pitches. He took advantage of the third one that he saw. First pitch, slider misses. Fastball misses inside. Dangerous count right down the middle, and Hamilton takes care of it.
And you start getting into hitters' counts, and hitters can look for a fastball, predictable counts. You get the better swings. But the Rangers have the tying run at third, to go ahead run at first with nobody out here to second. Here's Elvis Andrus, the shortstop. who last night tied his season high with an 8-game hitting streak. 333 over his last 14 games. As Flash said, these guys can hit and swing the bat well. Tanaka deals low and away for ball 1. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. Strike 1.
Good pitch out of the strike zone. Andrus does Tanaka a little bit of a favor right there. Brian McCann behind the plate. You're just thinking, trying to get that one pitch. Maybe possibly trade the run for a double play ground ball. Try to get your pitcher back on track.
1-1 count on Andrus. Squares the bunt, takes a pitch downstairs. 2 balls and a strike.
You're thinking a little safety squeeze right there. Take a look at Tanaka's delivery. The rotation on that split, and see how much it drops down out of the strike zone.
Lined up, fouled off. 2-2 off the end of the bat. Andrus' recent hot streak has raised his average over the 250 mark. Moreland at third. Hamilton at first. Nobody out. Yankees up by a run here in the second. Foul tipped and held by Brian McCann, and Andrus has struck out. So 1 down here in the second. First strikeout of the night for Masahiro Tanaka.
It picks a good time to pick up that first strikeout. A sinking fastball inside, maybe a hard split. Whatever it was. This one's right over the top.
So Jeff Bannister coming out to see if the ball actually hit in the dirt. Talking to Jordan Baker. And Jerry Meals, the second base umpire, said it did not hit in the dirt. We'll take another look.
Yeah, we get a look from the side. Foul ball right into the glove.
Yep. Shin So-Chu, the hitter. And a range of right fielder takes a pitch for a call strike. 1 for 8 in the series thus far. Has driven in a run in 5 of his last 6 games. So he's been coming through in these situations lately. Yankees looking for the double play to get out of the inning. Pitch to Chu is off the outside corner, a ball and a strike. Two balls and a strike. We mentioned how well Tanaka had been pitching. He's won 3 consecutive starts. He's gone at least 7 innings in each start and over 100 pitches. And the Yankees have been getting him that extra day that they feel they need to protect he and the likes of Michael Pineda and the rest of the starting staff. 2-1 pitch to Chu, and he lines it into left field for a base hit. The game is going to be tied as Moreland comes in to score. Hamilton stops at second. Chu has an RBI single. It's a 2-2 ball game.
Well, both of the RBI base hits here counts that Tanaka was behind, and he had to give in a little bit. Out over the plate and elevated, and Chu does a nice job just shooting it the other way. But a situational hitting at bat. He had a plan looking for something out over the plate. Make sure it's elevated and drive it the other way.
He's now driven in runs in 6 of his last 7 games as the number 9 hitter. The catcher, Robinson Chirinos, will come up. Chirinos looking for his first hit of the series. He's 0 for 5. First and second, 1 out. The Rangers have tied the game. Foul ball, strike 1. Yankees scored 2 in the top half of the first inning. The Rangers come back with 2 of their own here in the bottom half. Well, they asked manager Jeff Bannister after last night's kind of embarrassing loss when the team lost 21-5, giving up 21 unanswered runs. He said that his team would bounce back. They'll have to play better. That's what he said. So not only are they bouncing back, they might take the lead this inning. Tanaka steps off and just a courtesy look at second base. And he and McCann are going to talk it over here.
Think back to Tanaka's last outing. He did give up 3 home runs against Baltimore, but 2 of them were late in the game. Yankees had a huge lead, and he was just coming right at some of those hitters. Here you can even tell the pace of the game slowing down. Doesn't look comfortable trying to get on the same page with Brian McCann.
Runners at first and second. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Chirinos chased the pitch well out of the zone.
It's that good slider, that underrated pitch. Everybody talks about the split, and it is a good one, but the slider has improved.
Tanaka's had to work hard this inning. The next pitch will be number 25. Ball's hit high in the air to left field for Brett Gardner. Comes in a few steps, puts it away. That's the second out of the inning. Chirinos is retired. And the runners remain. Hamilton at second and Chu at first. Now back to the top of the order, and Delino DeShields. DeShields was drafted by the Houston Astros. His first round pick in 2010. His dad was the first round pick of the Montreal Expos in 1987. As DeShields takes a pitch in there for a strike. Now, one thing his dad can say that young Delino cannot say right now. His dad was traded for Pedro Martinez, traded for a Hall of Famer. Expos trading DeShields to the Dodgers for Pedro. That pitch is in there for a call, strike 2, 0-2. At the time, the Dodgers thought Pedro wasn't big enough to withstand the rigors of pitching in the major leagues.
Unusual that DeShields was a #1 pick and was left unprotected in the Rule 5 draft.
Yeah, that's true.
Usually you see the #1 picks, they protect them and make sure they don't lose out on their investment.
I think the Astros had so many young players, they've kind of passed it on the depth chart. So maybe that's why they didn't protect him. Good young ball club. The 0-2 pitch, and it's fouled off. Count remains, no balls and 2 strikes. Shields trying to hang in there. He's in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes. Going inside, 1-2. So both pitchers struggling here in the second inning. Colby Lewis for the Rangers in the top half, and Masahiro Tanaka having his problems in the bottom half of the inning. This will be the 30th pitch coming up for the Yankee right-hander. The Shields loops one into left field. Beltran coming on, and he does not make the catch. And a run is going to score, and it's 3-2. The Rangers take the lead as Hamilton crosses home plate. Beltran short hopped it, and right away the first base umpire, Paul Hemmel, said he did not make the catch.
And it is a good call. Short hops right in front of Carlos Beltran, and the Shields, to your point, Kenny, hanging in there, flipping one the other way. Carlos Beltran can't make up the ground to make the play. Now Larry Rothschild going to come out to the mound and have a talk.
Along with the translator, and trying to get the point across that Tanaka, in this inning, he has given up 3 runs on 4 hits. All singles. So the point has been made. Rugnet Odor will step in and grounded to second his first time up. Two outs, 2 on. 3 runs in for the Rangers here in their half of the second. First pitch, line drive, and it is short hop by Drew. To throw the first is in time for the out. The Rangers leave 2 on. They score 3 runs on 4 hits and take the lead 3-2.
NYCFC's new power trio of stars takes the spotlight in a match with the Montreal Impact. Watch New York City FC, presented by Etihad Airways, Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock right here on Yes. Alex Rodriguez leading off the top of the third. 0 for 1 in this ball game. Was 2 for 4 last night with 3 walks and an RBI. Quickly behind in the count, 0-2. Colby Lewis struggled a little bit in the second, giving up 2 runs. His club has given him a 3-2 lead, and he gets plenty of run support, 6.63 runs per game, as Alex Rodriguez strikes out to start the third.
I was about to say, let's see how Lewis reacts after giving up 2 last inning. Now he has the lead to work with.
He's got those 10 wins. 6.63 run support is the 4th highest in the American League. One down will bring up Brian McCann, who had a fly ball to left field his first at bat. On our Audi A3, 3-2 Rangers, 4 hits apiece. The Rangers going with the shift against Brian McCann, like most clubs do. Break the ball for strike 1.
Lewis has pitched well against the Yankees in the postseason. He beat them twice in the 2010 ALCS. And he also had a win that year in the World Series. 4-1 overall in the postseason. He's been tough when the chips are down.
McCann hits this ball to center field. The shield's right in front of the warning track. An easy play and 2 quick outs.
Lewis actually started his career with the Rangers, the #1 pick, supplemental pick in '99, but then he went to Detroit, Oakland, pitched in Japan for Hiroshima for a couple of years, then re-signed with the Texas Rangers.
2 down will be Carlos Beltran. Hit his 8th home run of the year, gave the Yankees a lead. Pulls this one foul.
Let's watch the follow through on the swing. Oof. That's why these catchers wear helmets. I can't believe years ago they just had the mask and their regular baseball cap on.
It's that old Charlie Lau swing. You release with your top hand, get some good extension. Be a ground ball to second base. Odor to first, and they just get Carlos Beltran. Kobe Lewis had a struggle in the 2nd inning, but a lot easier here in the 3rd. The Yankees go down 1-2-3. Sox. The first 18,000 guests in attendance will receive a Yankees portable power charger courtesy of Delta Airlines. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees Clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Prince Fielder going to lead off the bottom of the 3rd. Rangers leading 3-2. His first pitch swing, foul ball. Look at our Chrysler hitters scouting report on Prince Fielder, and he's having a great year, and he's beating up on the right-handers. .364 batting average coming in against righties. That leads the major leagues. He enjoys hitting against the Yankees in the 5 games. .429, 3 home runs and 9 RBIs, and 621 home runs. That is combined with his dad, his old man Cecil, at .319. Prince has .302. It's the third most for father-son combinations in the big leagues. The Bonds lead, Griffey's right behind them, and the Fielders are third. Prince hits this one right back up the middle out of the reach of Gregorius, a leadoff base hit here in the third.
Didi trying to come up with this one, and that's a situation where the shift didn't pay off. I didn't think he hit it all that well. He got jammed somewhat, but it was well placed, and he comes up with another hit.
3-2 on our Audi A3 scoreboard. What do they say, Kenny? Good hitters get jammed, right?
Well, because they're strong enough to get it over the
infield.
infield.
It off, yeah. We got third baseman Adrian Beltre. Started off that second inning with a base hit where the Rangers scored 3.
Remember that hot dog we showed on Monday night? That long, whatever.
Monster.
Yeah. They have a hamburger here called the Beltre Buster.
I can only imagine.
It could feed a small country.
Beltre hits it hard at Headley. Boots it. Gregorius comes up with it and tries to make the play, but Jones will be off the bag with the wide throw. The Rangers have something going here in the third.
Well, if Headley comes up with it, that would have been a double play ball. It's going to go as an error on the third baseman. Headley's been really sharp lately at third base. But this ball was hit pretty hard by Beltre. Another version of the Beltre Buster. Off the heel of the glove. Gregorius recovers. The throw is offline, and Garrett Jones comes off the bag. But meanwhile, the Rangers have 2 on, nobody out here in the third inning. Ball came up a little higher than Headley anticipated. E5.
We got Mitch Moreland, who had a good at bat. His first at bat, walked and scored a run. Tanaka already 46 pitches. Gave up 3 runs in the second inning. Fielder off second, Beltre off first. Big swing and a miss.
This will make the second inning in a row that Tanaka's had to reach back and get himself out of a jam.
Seen a lot of split fingers from Tanaka in this game already. Gets in trouble. That seems to be his go-to pitch.
We talked about on Monday night how the low strike has really come into play in baseball, but when you have an umpire, Jordan Baker, he's the tallest umpire in baseball, 6'7". Maybe he's not as adept at calling that low pitch.
The 1-1 to Mitch Moreland. Ball in the dirt. Nice play by McCann to keep it in front. It'll be pitch number 50 coming up next, and another look at that split down and in. Good play by McCann.
Yeah, that one hit home plate, so that when it does that, the ball could go anywhere. McCann kept it in front of him for the most part.
It's been a common theme. Tanaka behind in the count again, 2-1. Big swing and a miss by Moreland. There's that split again.
Another look. Go-to pitch for the night.
Texas Rangers have done a good job early on in this game. 3 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Moreland looking to add on. Tanaka looking for that strikeout, and he's going to get it. Fastball up and in.
Second strikeout of the night. This fastball is well located. After a splitter down and away, McCann wants the ball inside, and that's exactly where it goes. Very hard for a hitter to guard both sides of the plate, particularly after one pitch followed by the next one, which is even faster than the previous one.
One down will bring up Josh Hamilton. Had a base hit and an RBI his first at bat. His first pitch swinging, a foul ball. Hamilton spent some time out in LA with the Angels. Didn't go the way he thought it would. Back here in Texas, a little homecoming.
Yeah, this is where he's had his most success in his career. Previous 5 seasons with the Rangers, 305 hitter over those 5 years with 142 home runs and drove in over 500 runs in 5 seasons.
He's had some shoulder problems. He's had some hamstring problems. Behind in the count 0-2.
Yeah, I looked him up this afternoon. His bio, 13 times in his career he's been on the disabled list. So a myriad of injuries for Josh Hamilton has kept him off the field.
Former #1 pick in the country by the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. He's had his problems off the field.
That just missed.
I was still playing back in Tampa Bay when Josh was a #1 pick, and they had dreams of Hamilton, Crawford, and Rocco Baldelli.
Why not? Well, of the 3, I think Crawford had the most success because he lasted the longest.
Yep.
Before becoming a free agent, moving on to the Boston Red Sox, and then eventually traded to the Dodgers.
Rocco Baldelli, the first base coach for the Tampa Bay Rays now. Be a 3-2 to Hamilton. Big swing and a miss. So Tanaka, back-to-back strikeouts, trying to work his way out of trouble here in the 3rd.
And it's the splitter once again. It just dives down underneath the swing of Josh Hamilton. 2 outs now.
Shortstop Elvis Andrus, as Kenny mentioned, had an 8-game hitting streak extended last night. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Fielder off second. Beltre taking his lead off of first. Tanaka jumps ahead, strike 1. Game hitting streak, batting .324 in that streak. A couple of doubles, 6 RBIs, scored 6 runs.
Pitch number 60 coming up.
2 outs in the 3rd inning. Yankee bullpen will be a factor in this one.
I'm watching third base coach Tony Beasley, and he's trying to get Prince Fielder's attention to take a bigger lead. The Yankee infielders are back with 2 outs. In fact, Didi Gregorius are almost on the grass. He wants them to get a good jump in case there's a base hit here and he can score. Of course, he'll be off with the crack of the bat, but he can get a bigger lead than that.
2-1 to Andrus. He hits this ball to right field. Beltran goes back and makes the play. So Masahiro Tanaka Gave up a base hit, and an error by Headley. He was in a little bit of trouble, but was able to regroup. Then Remax, and by TriStateGMC.com, and by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Chase Headley to lead off the top of the fourth. Kobe Lewis back to work, and Headley first pitch swinging a line drive base hit into right field.
Well, we told you how hot Headley has been. Comes into the night with 3 straight multi-hit games. He's 1 for 2 now. He's now hitting 17 of 19 games this month. As we look at our Lincoln scoreboard, 3-2. The Rangers lead it.
Bring up Garrett Jones, giving Mark Teixeira a little night off tonight. Garrett playing first base. He came in the last night's game, went 0 for 2 with a run. Takes first pitch strike. Jones hit a ball hard his first at bat right at the Shields in center field.
The quick pitch almost. I don't know why you would do that with Headley on. Not really a stolen base threat.
You watch Lewis, the veteran. I mean, he does little things like that. He'll quick pitch you to try to get your timing off at the plate. Takes a little off, adds a little on.
And he's been around the block. He's been around the world. Pitched for Hiroshima in Japan for a couple of years. The Hiroshima Carp.
He's ahead of Jones 1-2. Jones with the 5 home runs, 17 RBIs, got off to a slow start. Picked it up a little bit lately.
Well, he's been valuable because he can give Teixeira a day off at first base. He can also play right field. He started 17 games in right. He's had a pinch hit home run this year.
Swing and a miss there against Lewis. Second strikeout of the ball game for Lewis.
And we'll take a look at this, slowing it down for you. But we didn't slow it down quite enough for Garrett Jones.
One down, it'll be Didi Gregorius, who continues his hot hitting. A base hit in the second. The Yankees all of a sudden getting a lot of production from the bottom of their lineup.
Yeah, coming into tonight, the last two games, the bottom of the order, 6 through 9, was 17 for 34. They hit 500. Scored 10 runs and driven in 12 runs.
It seemed like a long stretch there, Kenny. If Alex Rodriguez or Mark Teixeira didn't get it done, the Yankees were going to struggle offensively. Seems like a long time ago. The check swing. Third base umpire Andy Fletcher said he did not go.
Well, it's become more of a circular lineup. You're right. As we check out Didi, and he does. Whoa. What do you think, Flash? It doesn't matter what we think. Andy Fletcher
said no.
He didn't swing.
There it is. When you're a hot hitter, that doesn't get called on you, Ken.
And there's that quick pitch again. Quick set and deliver.
I thought Brendan Ryan and some of his quotes last night were hysterical with.
Ooh, what a nice shot. Our director John Moore is being artistic again tonight.
Brendan was talking about Gregorius and how he's swinging early in the count. When you're hitting behind him, you don't have a whole lot of time to get loose.
What do you say? I didn't get many donut swings.
Donut swings. Well, he would have gotten more in this at bat if he was on deck, but Stephen Drew is standing there. As Gregorius seen 4 pitches in this at bat. Headley is on the run. It's a swing and a miss, and a throw from Chirinos, and a great pick by Elvis Andrus to get Headley at second base. Little strike him out, and then you finish it up with the throw him out with a little help from your shortstop. 3-2 Rangers. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Yankee fans all over the place. Bottom of the fourth, it'll be Shin-Soo Choo. Got a base hit and an RBI. His first at bat. Fakes a bunt. Tanaka quickly ahead. Pitch count at 62. Tanaka looking for a quick inning here in the fourth if he can get it. Quickly ahead 0-2. Well, Chu has picked it up a little bit. Now has RBIs in 6 of his last 7 games.
He has not had the success here in Texas that he had in Cincinnati and Cleveland.
This will be a ground ball to Stephen Drew. Waits for Jones to get back to the bag. There's our injury report, which is brought to you by Montefiore Medical Center, Inspired Medicine. Mike Trout, his second game with some wrist inflammation. The Mookie Betts, 7-day DL for a concussion. MRI came back on Trout clean, so he's day to day.
Yeah, he tried to make a diving catch and turned over his wrist. You know, that can be very dangerous. I mean, years ago we saw Hideki Matsui break his wrist attempting a diving catch at the old Yankee Stadium. And I think Betts was injured falling over the wall last night in a game at Fenway Park, where he caught the ball, fell into the Red Sox bullpen, hit his head, and the ball came out of the glove, and they ruled it a home run.
Well, Mike Trout gets back in the lineup. He's going to have a few new teammates out there. Some new outfielders. So we got Victorino.
David Murphy.
There's
one other.
There's one more. I'm forgetting who it is. Chirinos hits this ball hard to the left center field gap. And that's going to go all the way to the wall. And Chirinos will be at second base with a one-out double.
Oh, David DeJesus.
There you go.
Yeah. Chirinos is going to run his 15th double of the year up the gap in left center field. Pitch was right there for the taking, and he didn't miss it. You can see Ellsbury and Gardner in the retrieving mode right from the beginning.
One down will be Delino DeShields. He had a base hit and an RBI his last at bat. Garrett Jones in on the grass, respecting the possibility of a bunt. Shields leads the American League with 7 bunt base hits.
You know, usually that's a number reserved for a left-handed hitter. You know, they can use the drag bunt. I would imagine with DeShields, he bunts it down either third or a push bunt to the right side, and using that great speed.
Chirinos taking his lead off of second base. You'd expect the Shields to be swinging away. Now his dad was a switch hitter, right?
No, his dad was a
lefty.
left-handed hitter. Different sort of build. His dad was more of a, maybe a little taller, a little lankier.
Good slider to get back in the count, 1-1. So Tanaka walked to Shields to lead off the ball game and then picked him off. He's been in trouble ever since. Gave up 3 in the second, had to work his way out of trouble in the third. Chirinos in scoring position here in the fourth.
Next pitch will be number 70. Pitch count rising for Tanaka.
Be a ground ball to Gregorius. We'll see if he goes to third. He does. So a base running mistake by Robinson Chirinos, and the Yankees take advantage.
Well, Flash is absolutely right. Already in scoring position. A ball hit in front of you. The backhanded flip, plenty of time to get Chirinos. And now the Rangers have a man on, but not in scoring position. That is a basic play they kind of teach you in Little League, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
It was a long time ago.
Two down will be Rougned Odor as DeShields takes his lead. Threat to run, Kenny told you. 16 stolen bases, has only been thrown out 3 times. He was picked off in the first inning by Tanaka. not running, and Odor first pitch swinging pulls it foul. Odor, the American League Player of the Week, had a great road trip.
He's either talking to it or hoping for better things.
Yeah, a great road trip, has not had a good couple of games. 0 for 2 tonight. Prince Fielder waiting on deck. Being 0-1 from Tanaka. The Shield's not running. The Yankees pitch out.
Always found when you pitch out and the runner doesn't go, that's just maybe it'll make him a little bit more aggressive. He probably thinks they're not going to pitch out again during this at bat. Oh, throw over the first base. It was close. This time the Shields gets back.
Brian McCann having an excellent year throwing the baseball. It's be a nice challenge right here with the Shields and his 16 stolen bases if he does take off. Rangers lead 3-2, bottom of the 4th inning. Another throw over.
Looked to me, he might have been going that time. His first move with his shoulder opened up a little bit, and then he had to scramble back. Watch that right shoulder. Does it? Huh? He just turns and dives back. Tanaka's doing a good job with him at first.
Doing a good job changing his times when he comes set. He'll hold, and then he'll deliver. Throwing off the rhythm. Misses there with a fastball. Behind in the count again, 2-1. "73 pitches with 2 outs in the 4th inning.
Very adept at holding runners is Masahiro Tanaka. Fields his position well. We've seen in interleague games he's a pretty good hitter. There's only been 1 stolen base this year. That was in his first start of the year against Toronto. Kevin Pillar.
So Tanaka has won 3 in a row. Has thrown over 7 innings in all 3 of those games. This is going to be a struggle for him to get to the 7th inning with that pitch count already at 74.
Got
2-2 on Odor.
I got a feeling he's going on this pitch. Let's see. All bets are off now. The guys who steal a lot of bases, or particularly the younger ones, they want to go. I mean, that's their thing.
Not running.
Yeah, like I said, all bets are off after Odor called timeout. He had a shorter lead as well. He'll be going now, 3-2 with 2 outs. Let's see what happened here with Odor. He's limping after this pitch. And I didn't see anything unusual other than trying to get out of the way.
Tanaka taking a lot of time looking in for the signs. It'll be a 3-2 to Odor. The Shields on the move. A pitch in the dirt that Brian McCann is able to deflect. It'll be a 2-out walk. It brings up the dangerous Prince Fielder.
Well, Tanaka has yet to have a 1-2-3 inning in this game. And that's why the pitch count is elevated up to 76 now.
Last time out, Tanaka did not walk anybody. He's walked 3 in this game. It has been a struggle. Prince Fielder, a ground ball right back to Tanaka. His first at bat, a base hit, his second at bat. mentioned earlier, doing a great job against right-handed pitching. Batting average coming in at .364 against righties. That has gone up in this game. He hits this ball, a foul ball, find the seats. .374 with runners in scoring position. 3 hits in his last 18 at bats.
What was his average before he went 3 for 18?
You know, one from Tanaka. Be a ground ball to Jones, so Tanaka again in some trouble here in the 4th inning, but able to work his way out of it. 3-2, Rangers lead.
Jack on the post-game show along with Meredith. But later tonight on Yes, don't miss an all-new episode of The Hookup with Brandon Snyder as New York baseball great Darryl Strawberry and boxing icon Evander Holyfield make dreams come true for youth in Yonkers. It's all new tonight after the post-game, only on Yes. Breaking ball drops in to Stephen Drew for his strike. On our Bigelow T scoreboard, it's 3-2 Texas. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Ken Singleton, John Flaherty, Meredith Morakovitz here in Texas. And the next pitch is in there for a strike to Drew. Had a base hit his first time up.
So that's how you do it if you're Troy Tulowitzki, huh? You go 3 for 5, go deep your first game as a Blue Jay.
Those number 2 jerseys are selling big time in Toronto. Inside, a ball and 2 strikes. It'll be Drew, then Ellsbury and Gardner for the Yankees here in the 5th inning. They're down by a run. The Yankees scored their 2 runs in the second. In the bottom half of the second, the Texas Rangers got 3. How many balls have the Yankees rocketed foul down the right side tonight?
We talked early on, Colby Lewis, not a hard thrower, lives around the upper 80s, 87, 88, more of a finesse location type guy. Trying to come in on the left-handed hitters. The Yankees have been clearing him out of there.
75 pitches coming up now for Colby Lewis. And this ball is lined into right field, and Drew is going to have his second hit of the ball game. He's 2 for 2. And right now we're going to go back to Bob Lorenz. Thank you very much, Bob. So a big-time debut for Troy Tulowitzki.
I guess he can hit away from Coors Field, huh? Long home run.
You know what? They're at home, right? They're at home. Yeah.
Yep.
So the fact is that's a good hitting ballpark at Rogers Center. We know that. The Blue Jays one of the better lineups in Major League Baseball. They've scored the most runs by far. So he's got to do his part. At least for tonight he did. Here's Ellsbury. RBI single his second time up. And he grounded out his first time. Ball is hit in the air to left center field. On the move is DeShields. And he glides over and makes the catch for the first out. Ellsbury's now 1 for 3 as Drew heads back to first base. So with 1 out, Brett Gardner will come to the plate. He's looking for his first hit of the night. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning. And then flied out to Hamilton in left field. We mentioned Gardner up there among run scorers. Tied for second in the league. His career high was 97 back in 2010. He's got a chance to break that. Takes a pitch and it's called strike. Another warm night here in Texas. Seems the Yankees come here every July. That's strike 2 to Gardner. He's down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes.
And again, it's that quick pitch by Colby Lewis. He doesn't. It just kind of comes down the hill real quick, and it disrupts the timing. He's got a bunch of strikes on that tonight.
Like Tanaka, Lewis's pitch count getting up there. Number 80 coming up. Gardner with a bouncing ball to second. Odor to Andrus to Moreland. And it's an inning-ending 4-6-3 double play. It's hard to double Gardner up, but this was a tailor-made double play. At the end of 4 1/2, the Rangers lead 3-2. The Beltray Buster. 2 pounds of meat smothered in onions and all kinds of other stuff. I see some bacon there, I think. Was that a chili pepper on top? And here is Adrian Beltre. He had a base hit and a run scored, also reached on an error. He's 1 for 2. That thing should come with a halo. 2 pounds of meat. You can have it for $26.
That's it, huh?
Yeah, $26.
Able to feed your whole family with
For
that thing.
a week. Pitches fouled back. Beltre with a big swing. And lets go of the bat. Now, I've been watching Beltre swing the 2 games that we've done. And remember, he's been out with a bad thumb. And it looks like to me he's having trouble holding on the bat, at least in this at bat. He was on the DL with a sprained thumb. And I wonder if it's still bothering him. See how quickly that top hand comes off. I don't even know if that's the hand that was injured. Tanaka deals. And this is lined into left center field. It's a base hit. Second hit for Beltre in the game. Well, I guess it's not bothering him that much. And the Rangers now have 7 hits off Masahiro Tanaka.
Beltre's hit the ball hard 3 times. The error by Chase Headley was a rocket right at him. A couple of line drives into left field.
That's not his normal swing.
No.
So he's on for Mitch Moreland. Moreland's drawn a walk and struck out. He's got a no contact night going. When he walked in the second, he eventually came around to score. Tanaka deals, misses low and inside for ball 1. On our Bigelow T scoreboard. And you're going to have to drink a lot of that tonight to cool off. It's 3-2 Rangers. Inside again, ball 2. I wonder what they did years ago before air conditioning in these parts.
It's hot back at home, too.
Yeah.
93, I think.
93. Moreland fouls it at the plate. It rolls back to the screen. It's 2-1. 90 degrees right now in New Jersey, we understand. It's hot everywhere. Summertime in Texas. Moreland takes, and that's low. 3 balls and a strike. Tanaka with nowhere near the command he had in his last start. His last start, he had 19 swings and misses. That was a season high. Moreland lines one, and it's going to be in there for a base hit. Ellsbury cuts it off in center. On the way to third is Beltre. And the Rangers will have runners at first and third with nobody out here in the 5th. It's not Tanaka's night. 8 hits for Texas.
Again, behind in the count. You got to challenge some hitters. Moreland takes advantage of it, just shooting it right back up the middle the other way. Beltre comes around second, then he kicks it into another gear, and Ellsbury decides to throw to second base.
7 singles and a double off Tanaka tonight.
I would expect somebody to start getting loose.
Josh Hamilton to the plate. He's had a base hit and a run batted in and a run scored. He's also struck out. Ball 1. Tanaka falls behind again. Rangers threatening here in their half of the 5th inning. Trying to increase a 3-2 lead. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Tanaka stepped off, did not throw to first. Rangers tonight 3 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Hamilton has one of those 3 hits. Swing and a miss. 2-1.
Everything about Tanaka's been off. The 8 hits that he's given up. Doesn't have command of the fastball. The split has been good at times, but even the pace, everything just slowing down. You can see not comfortable.
Ground ball to second, could be 2. Drew's going to tag the runner for 1. Throwing the first to complete the double play, but Beltre scores, and it's now 4-2 Texas. Good play by Stephen Drew at second.
Well, the Yankees will take it, trying to stay away from the big inning. Get a look at Drew. He comes in, he charges, and then he just decides, I'm going to tag Moreland myself, complete the play. Rangers add 1, but the Yankees will take that.
No run batted in, of course, on the double play for Hamilton, but the Rangers do take a 2-run lead. So 2 outs, nobody on. Elvis Andrus will come to the plate. Andrus is struck out, fly to right. He's 0 for 2. Takes one outside. We just mentioned New Jersey, how hot it is. We better mention a lady in Whiting, New Jersey, Margaret Lazurko. Her son Jack came up to visit us before the game, former Major League ball player, and he said, say hello to his mom. 95 years old, big time Yankee fan. So Margaret, hello. From the 3 of us in the booth here. Hope you're enjoying the game. The Yankees still have time to come back.
I hope she's staying cool, 90 degrees back home in Jersey.
Exactly. Pitch to Andrus, and he hits it down the right field line towards the foul pole, and it's foul. How about that? Talking on the cell phone and make the catch. Get another look at this, Flash. Oh, he got it on the rebound. Bouncing ball foul off the bat of Andrus. Tanaka's next pitch will be number 95. With 2 outs here in the 5th inning. The Rangers have made him work tonight. Ground ball to third. Headley gobbles it up and throws him out. But the Rangers pick up a run on 2 hits here in the 5th. We've played 5 innings here at Globe Life Park. It's 4-2 Texas. A strong fan photo of the game. Tweet us your strongest fan photo to hashtag yes, that is strong fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. That is Donna McRods. As A-Rod swings at the first pitch and fouls it off. A-Rod tonight is popped up, struck out. 0 for 2. 24 homers. Swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. Leads Major League designated hitters with those 24 home runs. The only Yankee player that finished with more than 24 home runs as a DH in a season was Hideki Matsui. Hit 27 in the championship season of 2009. It's blown away. Now Don Baylor did hit 25 as a DH for the Yankees in 1984, but that was second highest total. Then A-Rod's with 24. 1-2 pitch. A-Rod hits a line drive, and it's caught by Andrus at short. Alex Rodriguez robbed of a hit.
Kenny, you mentioned those 24 home runs, but just the quality of the at-bats day in and day out by Alex Rodriguez. Nice diving play by the shortstop for Texas. Full extension, good play. A-Rod's done that to a few guys in his past.
1 out, nobody on. It'll bring up Brian McCann, who's flied out twice. He's flied out to left, flied out to center. The shift is on. McCann takes, and it's low for a ball. Yankees are down 4-2. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. And that misses. 2 balls and no strikes. Top of the 6th inning. Ball is driven deep to right, but this is going to be foul. A loud strike off the bat of Brian McCann. And once again, Yankees hit a rocket, but foul. Three balls and a strike.
Lewis doing his part. He gave up 2 runs in the 2nd inning, but we mentioned the bullpen was taxed last night for Texas. Here we go again, Kenny.
Line drive shot. Line drive foul. This is a tough souvenir night. Pitch number 90 coming up for Colby Lewis. The 3-2 pitch is pop foul just below us. So McCann putting on a battle here against the veteran Colby Lewis. 35-year-old right-hander. You see that 2nd inning, 8 up the pitch count. 38 pitches for him in the 2nd.
He threw 103 pitches his last time out. It's usually where he's around 90 to 100.
Another foul ball, and that caught McCann. And Chirino's going to walk the ball out to Colby Lewis.
Right off that right shin. You see that slider that goes inside, and he comes right over the top. Ooh.
See, that's one catcher taking care of another.
No protection there, and not wearing a shin guard when he hits, so
might be next time. See that? A little thank you from McCann. You see that? Three-two pitch once again, and this one's hitting the air down the right field line, and this one is a fair ball. And the ball bounces over the wall, and McCann has himself a double. So he hung in there.
And Shin's going to feel a whole lot better now after a double. And they go right back to it. A slider that's inside, and able to keep it fair Sometimes you see hitters hook this foul.
And you can see the ball hopping over the wall. So McCann's at second base with one out to bring up Carlos Beltran, who's homered and grounded to second. Home run was number 8 on the season. His first home run of the month of July. And the first pitch to Beltran is ball 1, and Chirino's going to go out and talk it over with Colby Lewis. I wonder if we're going to get some action in the Rangers bullpen. With the pitch count climbing up to 93, and they are starting to move around out there. While we have time here, this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Yeah, there is some action in the bullpen. Beltran hits one foul down the first base side. Keon Keela is up. Runner at second, one out. Fouled at the plate. Another self-inflicted foul ball. This time it's going to be Beltran. He's wearing a guard. He got himself on the back foot.
You don't see that very often. Usually it's that first leg, front foot that gets worn out.
Another foul ball. Before the game, Carlos was taking pictures with what looked like a baseball team from Puerto Rico, his native country. He was out there. He took individual pictures with about every member of the team. And then I'm sure he delighted them with the home run that he hit in the second inning. Call, strike 3. And once again, that looked like that quick pitch, a fastball to the inside corner.
Yeah, the slide step and the ball running back a little bit to the inside corner catches Carlos Beltran looking. Look at the delivery. Quick pitch, abbreviated delivery.
So here's Headley, who was popped up and singled. And the first pitch is over the outside corner for a call strike. 5 hits in his last 8 at bats with runners in scoring position. Colby Lewis is doing all he can to hold the Yankees at bay. This will be his 100th pitch coming up. Just misses.
It's that slider again. You see Chirinos catches it down, tries to bring it back up to the strike zone, doesn't get the call.
Ball is hit deep to right. Foul. Tell you what, if that foul pole was about 20 feet to the right, Yankees might have had about 2 or 3 more home runs tonight. Looks like Kella's all ready to go in the bullpen. He's warmed up. Doesn't take long on a night like tonight. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So once McCann got to second, Kobe Lewis got busy. Strikes out Beltran and Headley to end the top of the 6th. Because the Yankees will finalize this 4-game series. Got an Audi batting practice today, and then the Tri-State Ford pregame, and then the Yankees and the Rangers right here on Yes. Shin-Soo Choo takes a pitch for a call strike. Choo is 1 for 2 with a run batted in. And this one's outside, a ball and a strike. 97 pitches for Masahiro Tanaka. He's on the short end of a 4-2 score. Pitch is grounded foul.
Season high for Tanaka was 114.
Caleb Cotham is up in the Yankee pen. He just called up today. Chris Capuano designated for assignment before the game. And pitches in the dirt. Capuano had a couple of rough outings, one in Minnesota, and of course last night when he walked 5 batters, gave up 5 runs in the bottom half of the first inning. Next pitch is going to be number 100 for Tanaka. Two pitch on the way, and it's hit hard, and it's through for a base hit. Choo has his second hit of the game. Takes a big turn. He's headed for second. Here's Beltran's throw. It is not in time. A hustling double for Shin-Soo Choo.
Well, it's going to be a base hit all the way. The Yankees shifting, but he beats the shift. And Choo right away, the play in front of him, he's thinking double. Carlos Beltran a little bit late getting over there. The throw was accurate, but Choo right out of the box knows he might have an opportunity for a double. He extends it, aggressive base running, and it works out.
Double number 19 on the season for Choo, and Joe Girardi's going to come out. Is there some sort of challenge here? Did he miss a base? We'll see. The Yankees have not appealed as of yet over at first, have they? Not so sure what this is.
Maybe it's on the slide into second base if he came up off the bag.
Yeah, we'll take a look. There's no problem at first base. He's on it. If that was the case, the Yankees would just appeal that he missed the bag.
Slides into the bag. We'll see if he loses contact with it at any point. There you go.
Right there. Gets the foot down quickly. That's Jerry Meals, who was looking right at it. And I guess it was Stephen Drew who said, you know, we better check this.
You give Drew a lot of credit for keeping this tag on Chu. Clearly beats the throw, but then loses contact with the bag.
And Chu has been called out. Heads up play by Stephen Drew. So instead of a leadoff double, that will be a single. And Beltran gets credit for an assist. 9-4. Chu is thrown out. So here's Robinson Chirinos. And he swings at the first pitch. It's a fly ball deep center field. Going back is Ellsbury. He is there and makes the catch for out number 2. So Tanaka catches a break.
This is one of those ones you hold your breath a little bit, wondering which way the ball will be carrying tonight. Hit that ball pretty well. Just kind of died in center field.
Here's the Shields with 2 outs, nobody on. Takes a pitch, call strike. 1 for 2 with a walk for the Shields and a run batted in. Hit hard. 1 hopper to Henley. He gloves it. And plenty of time to get to Shields. Well, the Rangers don't score. Coming up second this inning, the red hot Didi Gregorius. Yankees trying to get back into this game.
Most reliable internet Michael Pineda, 9-7, 3.97 against Giovanni Gallardo, 7-9, 3.19. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. on Yes. And we're going to have a call to the bullpen, which is brought to you by Verizon. Keone Kela takes over here in the 7th inning for Kobe Lewis. Take a look at his numbers on the year. 5-5. It'll be his 48th game. The ERA, a very respectable 3.24. Garrett Jones, ground ball to second base. Odor up with it. Quick out here in the 7th.
Rangers have made a defensive change in center field. And we've seen what Leonis Martin can do in center in the first couple of games in this series. He's outstanding. But the Shields is out of the ball game.
One down, it'll be D.D. Gregorius. Continuing his hot hitting, a base hit in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. Batting average now at .259. Kela quickly ahead.
Kela, born in Los Angeles, now lives in Seattle.
Gregorius checks his swing. Andy Fletcher said he did not go. Kobe Lewis, 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs. Jason Shreve getting loose. The Yankee bullpen. See the good numbers for Kela right there. He gave up a season high 3 runs, 2 of them earned on Sunday against the Angels. That raised his ERA to 3.24, which is the highest it has been in a while. Kobe Lewis, last 3 outings, has pitched into the 7th inning. Not able to do that today, but he leaves with a 4-2 lead.
It was the 2nd inning that got to him, the 38 pitches, when the Yankees scored their 2 runs.
Be a 2-2. Swing and a miss by Gregorius. Chirinos up with it, completes the play. 2 quick outs here in the 7th. On the road, traveling, and want to watch your Yankees? Subscribe to MLB.TV Premium for live or on-demand games on over 400 devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. 2 down will bring up Stephen Drew's having a good night. 2 for 2, couple of base hits.
Good road trip, 6 for 15.
I don't think Joe Girardi is committed to this yet, but it looks like Brendan Ryan's going to get his opportunities against lefties. He's swinging the bat well. Stephen Drew quickly behind in the count, 0-2. Rangers lead 4-2, top of the 7th inning. He's already taken the first 2 games of this series.
You saw a shot of Larry Rothschild talking to Brian McCann in the dugout. And I know they're going over Tanaka's night. You know what? What had him come off the tracks tonight? He had won his previous 3 starts.
Through every pitch, going through maybe what Larry Rothschild saw, what Brian McCann saw, trying to get things straightened out. Tanaka had been so good for the last 3 starts. It was a struggle tonight for him.
Well, You know, it's almost as if they're already preparing for his next start. Which won't be until the Yankees get back to Yankee Stadium.
Good play by Chirinos again, keeping the ball in front. Stephen Drew trying to work his way back into this at bat. Behind in the count 0-2, now 2-2. 193 batting average, Kenny. You know he'd love to get that over 200. Oof. 13 home runs, 28 RBIs. He's made a nice transition to second base, trying to get that batting average up a little bit. This isn't going to help. Odor with the easy play to get Stephen Drew. So Kella comes in, 1-2-3. Looks like we're going to get a pitching change. Part by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. For exceptional summer offers, visit CadillacTristate.com. And by People's United Bank NA, putting the power of know-how to work for you. And by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2015 models. Great look outside of Globe Life Park here in Arlington, Texas. Yankees have made a pitching change. Jason Shreve on.
I was talking to Shreve before the game in the Yankee clubhouse, and as we look at his numbers, which outstanding, 42 strikeouts in 40 in the third innings. He appeared here on Monday and did an excellent job in relief. I asked him who taught him that split changeup, and he said it was his coach Glenn Evans at the College of Southern Nevada. He said he had problems throwing a changeup. He couldn't get it. His coach said, try this. And the very first time he threw it, he said it was outstanding. So that's how he developed that pitch almost immediately.
Shreve coming off a good outing here Monday night, 2 scoreless innings.
He had 4 strikeouts in 2 innings, and several of them on the split change.
Quickly ahead 0-2 to Odor.
Here's where he likes to use it. He likes to bounce it on home plate or throw it in the dirt and see if the hitters will chase it.
There it is.
He faced Odor on Monday night and struck him out.
Odor with a couple of ground balls to second base. He walked his last time. Rangers lead 4-2. Yankees scoring 21 runs last night, not coming as easily tonight. It'll be 1-2 from Shreve. Ground ball, just foul.
Odor is looking over into the Rangers dugout as if he thinks that was a fair ball. And we'll get a look at it. Well, it looked like it was just foul to me. Well, wait a minute. Jeff Bannister's going to come out walking slowly. Rangers manager towards the first base umpire, Paul Emmel.
Taking a nice slow walk over to Paul Emmel.
Now, isn't this what they wanted to try and avoid? The managers going out to talk to the umpires, awaiting the video instructions from their video people. So I looks like they're not going to challenge. Just headed back to the dugout.
Get another look at it.
Over the bag is fair, but
it's tough to tell.
It's tough to tell.
We'll do it again. Another 1-2 to Odor, and Shreve catches him looking. We're going to go back to Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry in our Yes Network studio. Thank you very much, Bob. So the Mets adding some bats here coming down the stretch, trying to help their lineup. Prince Fielder 1 for 3 with a single.
Did you ever get antsy around the trade deadline?
My name was never thrown out there around the trade deadline. I'm sure yours was.
You know, it wasn't. And I'll tell you why. Because when I signed my last contract, the GM told me he'd never trade me.
Really?
And he kept his word.
I was traded a few times, never at the deadline.
No, I was traded a couple times, never at the deadline either. There's that split change. This one ends up in the dirt. And the reason why he said that is because when I signed my last contract, I became 10-5. And for those of you out there who don't know what that means, 10 years in the league, in the last 5 with one team, they can't trade you without your permission. And when I informed him that's what's going to happen when I signed this deal, he said I wouldn't trade you anyway.
There you go. Fielder fouls it off,
which was nice to know.
I got traded from Boston to Detroit the last day of spring training. Got traded from Detroit to San Diego in June, and then got traded from San Diego to Tampa Bay on the night of the expansion draft in the offseason.
Wow.
Be a 1-2 to Fielder. Fouls it off.
I got traded at the very end of spring training from the Mets to Montreal. And then from Montreal to Baltimore, I got traded in the winter during the winter meetings.
A lot of wheeling and dealing going on around this trade deadline. You expect the next couple of days to be busy as well.
You would hate to have any GM cell phone bill.
The 1-2 from Shreve. Misses down. We were talking early on about Fielder and the good job he does against right-handed pitching. Not too shabby against lefties. 287 batting average coming into this one. Pops it up. Brian McCann over by the Yankee dugout is going to run out of room.
The way the shift was on, he's the only one that had a shot at that one. Down in the camera well near the Yankee dugout.
Shreve picked up a strikeout of Odor. 2-2 on Fielder. A fastball just off the plate. It'll be a 3-2. We'll see if it's that split change.
Looks like fastball away. Going to try it again.
And again, it misses. So a good at bat from Prince Fielder works a walk. And we're going to go to Meredith Marakovitz. Actually, Joe Girardi is going to make a pitching change, so we're going to get some information from Meredith a little later on when we come back. Jason Shreve didn't miss by much. Joe Girardi going to the pen. After that, but what do you have?
How dare he? Well, the Rangers are getting in on the action, and it looks as though they have landed an ace in Cole Hamels. Several outlets reporting that Hamels is, in fact, headed to Texas. Now, multiple players are involved in that deal, but the Rangers have to be extremely happy about the fact that they landed Hamels and don't have to give up Nomar Mazara or Joey Gallo, two big bats that are in their organization that will stay in their organization.
Well, Joe Girardi makes a pitching change. Going to be Caleb Gotham. You got anything on him?
Yes, he was throwing the ball very well down at AAA, and they moved him to the bullpen. He's been throwing the ball much better as of late. But Joe Girardi said earlier about Chris Capuano, who was DFA'd, Caleb Cotham added to the roster, that it was a tough decision. He's a veteran guy. He had always worked as a starter, and he just felt as though he never got comfortable in that bullpen. He wasn't getting regular work, and that was a big part of it. And the Yankees just decided to go in a different direction.
Well, thank you very much, Meredith.
So Cotham's first delivery in the major leagues. It's a call strike.
Facing a hitter in Adrian Beltre, who's hit the ball hard 3 times, couple of base hits and a hard shot to third. Big swing and a miss there.
Nice slider. Cotham, originally a 5th round pick of the Yankees in the 2009 draft out of Vanderbilt University. And he's from Mount Juliet, Tennessee, which is a suburb of Nashville.
Cotham ahead in the count, 0-2. This is off the plate. You know, Kenny, I was thinking you really got to give the Yankees credit how they've worked their bullpen and brought up all these young kids. Tanner Shepard's getting loose. Diego Moreno last night did a great job. He sticks around. fresh arms out of that bullpen that can contribute. There's Moreno. We'll have a couple of days off to enjoy what he did last night.
Yeah, Joe Girardi mentioned it might be 3 days before Moreno's ready to go back out there again.
Beltre loops one down the right field line. Beltran coming on, but it's going to find the seats.
Now, usually we're used to seeing, one of these kids come up from the minor leagues, pitch, and then they go right back. The Yankees are looking for a fresh arm if they can't be used for 2 or 3 days. But Moreno pitched so well, he got to stay. So he's going to hang around for a few days until he's ready again. At least we think so. What a performance. 5 1/3 hitless innings. He picked up his first major league win. That had to be a thrill.
Caleb Gotham from Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt University.
The best baseball programs in the country.
Sonny Gray, David Price, among others.
He gets a ground ball. Beltre spoils it foul.
Coach Tim Corbin, who I had met years ago when he was the pitching coach at Clemson University. His son Justin was playing at Clemson. And Corbin's gone on to Vanderbilt and built a very nice program there.
Do a great job there. Swanson, #1 pick in the country this year from Vanderbilt.
For a change, not a pitcher.
Be 2-2 from Cotham. Beltre, another foul ball, having a good at bat, spoiling some tough pitches.
This will be the 9th pitch of this at bat coming up.
You saw the numbers for Cotham in the minor leagues. Does not walk many, only 2 walks. A pretty good battle right here with Adrian Beltre. Ground ball to short. Gregorius boots it. So Didi Gregorius, who had played so well defensively, not made an error all month. That's going to change.
First error since June 21st. And this would have been a double play ball. You got to think it would have been. Off the heel. And didn't have enough time to recover it. All hands are safe. So in this ballgame, we've seen 2 errors. The Yankees have been playing so solidly defensively lately. Headley had one. Now Gregorius has had one in this game. And they both have been very strong defensively of late. So fielder is safe at second on the error, and Beltre reaches on the fielder's choice.
With 1 down, it'll be Mitch Moreland, 1 for 2, a walk, single, and scored a run. Fielder takes his lead off a second. Beltre off a first. Cotham quickly ahead.
So the Yankees with yet another CC on their pitching staff.
One thing Joe Girardi's going to like, Cotham coming out of that bullpen, throwing strikes, getting ahead in the count.
Should have been out of the inning.
Big league managers, the one thing they will tell you is they want to know that their relievers will come out and throw strikes. Might not work out every time. Quickly ahead here on Mitch Moreland, 0-2. That'll be strike 3. That'll be the first big league strikeout Caleb Cotham's young career.
You know what? I think Flash, you got a point there about throwing strikes, because all major league managers, as we see this call strike 3, look like a two-seamer. It swung back over the plate for call strike 3. When they hear that a young pitcher's coming up for the minor leagues, probably the first thing they ask the people at director of player development, or the manager from the minor league team in which the player is coming from, does he throw strikes?
He got his first big league strikeout. Threw the ball into the Yankee dugout. I'm sure trainer Steve Donahue will write some nice words on that baseball. He left in his locker after the game as Hamilton, first pitch swinging. Base hit into right field. Fielder around third. He will score. Beltre into third. Josh Hamilton, a couple of hits, couple RBIs in this ball game, and the Rangers now lead 5-2.
Hamilton jumps on the first pitch. And the first hit allowed by Coffman in the big leagues. Target's low and away, and you can see McCann reaching back towards the middle of the plate. That's never a good thing, especially when you're dealing with big league hitters.
Two down will bring shortstop Elvis Andrus to the plate. 0 for 3, strikeout, fly out, and a ground ball.
Well, the Yankees are going to have to rally against the Rangers bullpen. The bad news is it's getting kind of late in this game. The good news for the Yankees, the Rangers bullpen is the worst ERA in the league.
Not very good. Kaufman trying to limit the damage here. The 1-1 Andrus fouls this one off. Ten hits for the Rangers, 5 runs. 7 hits for the Yankees, 2 runs. Couple of errors, one big one here in this inning by Didi Gregorius. Could have been an inning-ending double play. Hamilton on the move, and Andrus fouls it off.
Looked like Andrus was trying to shoot that one through the right side. Stephen Drew covered. Right side opened up.
Ryan McCann going to go through some signs out in front of home plate, letting his infielders know where he's going to throw the baseball in case Hamilton goes again. The 1-2. Fastball misses off the plate in. Velocity's decent, 92, 93 miles an hour.
I was impressed with the slider. Good sharp break.
Two. Hamilton running again, and a swing and a miss by Elvis Andrus. Rangers add on. They lead 5-2. dealer. Rangers lead 5-2, 10 hits against 7 for the Yankees. Carlos Beltran hit a solo home run. Josh Hamilton, a good night. Couple RBI singles. Chu and DeShields, an RBI single each.
So as we go to the top of the 8th inning, going to be an uphill battle for the Yankees. They have the top of the order. It'll be Ellsbury, Gardner, and A-Rod face the new pitcher for the Texas Rangers. 5-2 on our Hyundai scoreboard. Tall right-hander Tanner Shepard is in the ball game. Ellsbury 1 for 3, and he'll take a pitch in there for a called strike. Ellsbury had a base hit back in the 2nd inning to drive in a run. Curveball hangs a little high. It's a ball and a strike. Here are the numbers. 21 walks in 34 innings. Go along with 29 strikeouts. Ball is popped up to the left side. And it looks to be the shortstop Andrus who is there and makes the catch, 1 out. So the leadoff Yankee is retired here in the 8th inning. And it'll bring up Brett Gardner, who's 0 for 2, is also hit by a pitch. Gardner had his 11th home run of the year last night. He hit it off Adam Rosales, backup infielder. With the Yankees up 19-5 at the time. The Rangers went to alternate pitching. Pitch to Gardner. And that's in there for a strike. It's not the first time that Rosales had pitched this year. He pitched against the Blue Jays. He gave up a home run in that game too. he gave one up to Josh Donaldson. That pitch is up for a ball, and it's a ball and a strike on Gardner.
So backup catcher David Ross with the Cubs came in to pitch, and then he hit a home run when he came up to the plate after that. There we go.
So he gets credited for a home run as a pitcher.
Yep.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2 on Gardner. Here it is last night. Here comes Rosales out of the bullpen, and there it goes back towards the bullpen. Did you ever face guys, position players?
I'm sure I did. I remember it being a no-win situation. You know, you're expected to go deep.
You know, when it was so long ago, I can't remember facing anybody other than a real pitcher. I think I would have remembered if it had happened. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Gardner hits a ground ball off of Shepard's glove. He recovers, spins, throws, and Gardner's retired. That ball would have gotten into center field. So tough luck for Brett Gardner that he's out number 2 here in the 8th inning.
Yeah, nice job by Shepard just to knock it down. And then he doesn't panic. He knows Brett Gardner runs well, takes his time in the easy throw. Knock it down, finish off the play.
Well, the Yankees have scored 21 runs last night, have been held to 2 tonight. Alex Rodriguez is 0 for 3. He lined out to shortstop Elvis Andrus his last time up. Got a 4-game hitting streak on the line. Takes a pitch for a call strike. A-Rod's got a Yankee milestone coming up. He's got 533 doubles. Lou Gehrig had 534. So he would tie him on the all-time list. A ball and a strike. A-Rod had a double here last night. Off the corner, 2-1. The Yankees had to lead briefly in this game, 2-0 in the second, before the Rangers scored 3 in their half of the inning. Ball is looped towards center field, and A-Rod now has a 5-game hitting streak. A 2-out single here in the 8th inning. Shepard gives up the hit.
Looked like Alex got jammed a little bit. We'll take another look on Yes Mo, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz Tri-State Dealers. Love the way the bat just extends right back out towards the pitcher. Gives him the ability to hit off-speed pitches.
That one hurt a little bit. It didn't quite have that crack of the bat. It had more like a thud. In on the hand somewhat. Lucky still has a bat. Here's McCann, who had a double his last time. Check swing on a slider in the dirt for ball one. Yankees trying to rally. See if they have some two-out magic here in the eighth. Ball two. 2 balls and no strikes.
Shepherd's with all those walks that we saw in his numbers for the year. Control is a definite issue. Behind in the count here to Brian McCann, 2-0.
Check swing. That's a call strike. Rangers bullpen is busy again. Tollison. Sean Tollison. McCann drives this one down the right field line, but foul. That was a rocket. Now that's where his double went last time, hopped over the wall. They got another one, this time on a foul ball. Off-speed pitch, foul into the Rangers dugout. Well, we saw the Yankees rally in Minnesota. We saw them rally yesterday. Or I should say last night. McCann drives this one to right field. Hit well, but Chu is right there. And the Yankees will leave a man on here in the eighth. 5-2 Texas. The Yankee skipper recaps this long 10-game road trip against the Twins, Rangers, and White Sox. It's all new Sunday at 6, only on Yes. Cotham in there for his second inning of work. He capped off the last 2 innings. First 2 outs he recorded in the major league strikeouts. He'll get Chirinos, and Martin here in the bottom of the 8th, and the first pitch to Chu is in there for a call strike on our Hyundai scoreboard. The Rangers have a 5-2 lead on the Yankees. Chu with a bouncing ball to the left side, and it's in for a base hit. He goes against the shift. Chu has 3 hits tonight.
We've seen him go the other way a couple of times tonight. Good look at the shift. Gregorius playing on the second base side of second. Just inside out.
Yeah.
Block it off the other way. Pick yourself up your 3rd hit.
So Chu's at first. And here comes Chirinos, who has a double in 3 tries. See if the Rangers try anything here. Try and build some insurance here in the bottom of the 8th inning against Caleb Cotham, making his major league debut. And he deals outside for a ball. Cotham struck out Mitch Moreland and Elvis Andrus last inning. He also gave up a hit to Josh Hamilton. Chu's on first.
We were talking earlier about David Price and Cole Hamels. I guess the David Price situation didn't slow down the market for Hamels, huh?
Well, from what I understand, they're getting pretty close to a deal. Chu's on the move. This ball is hit down the right field side, and it's out of play. Rangers did try something. A little hit and run.
General Manager John Daniels here in Texas looking forward to next year.
Yeah, it appears so.
He'll get his #1 pitcher Darvish back at some point.
Another check on Chu at first. The Rangers started the night 5 games under 500. 8 games back of Houston and the Angels, who are in a virtual tie for first place in the West. A bunt. It is a fair ball. McCann's going to throw to first. Chirinos is out. He'll get a sacrifice as Chu moves down to second. So they tried to hit and run, then went to the sacrifice. And that will go 2-3 on the putout at first.
It was not a great bunt just in front of home plate. Brian McCann had the play right in front of him. Could have went to second base. I wonder if Gregorius so far away, he will get a good look here. Brian McCann says, you know what? I'll take the sure out at first.
See DD holding up the glove.
Yeah, saying throw it.
Yeah. The easy out was at first base. Chu's on second now. With 1 out. And his first at bat of the night for Leonis Martin, who took over defensively for Delino DeShields in center. Now Martin had started the year as the everyday center fielder, but his hitting has not been up to par this year. And DeShields has gotten some playing time out in center field. But Martin is the better defensive outfielder, and that's why he's come on in the latter stages of this game. Look out, it's inside, and it's a ball and a strike. fouled at the plate. And looks like that got a piece of Martin. Trying to walk it off.
We've seen a lot of this tonight. A lot of sliders inside on the lefties. Gets that guard on the front shin.
Swing and a miss. Strike three. Good fastball. 93 miles an hour. Blows away Leonis Martin. 2 down.
It's a good combination. The slider in the pitch before, and then the fastball that's elevated. McCann wanted it away. It ends up middle, but it's up right by Martin.
So at 2 outs and a runner at second, the Rangers will turn to Rougned Odor, who is 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. He's grounded to Drew twice at second. Was called out on strikes when facing Chase and Shreve in the 7th. Upstairs for ball 1. Wednesday night crowd of 31,658. That is just a few below what the Rangers average here. They average 31,674 a game. Outside for a ball. Rangers have some home games to make up. They're one of the teams in the major leagues that have played among the fewest home games. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-1. Now I wonder, could that be a product of the hot summers here, where the Rangers say we're going to give us some games later on when things might cool down a bit? But there's always the problem. You might be out of the race by then.
Sure.
Yeah. Odor fouls it back to the screen. The count levels off at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now, I wouldn't think that'd be the case here, because people are just used to hot summers. Two-two pitch, and it's fouled at the plate. I mean, where else are you going to get a Beltre Buster?
For $26?
Yeah, where else are you going to get one? You got to come out of here. I can imagine. $26 hamburger. Must come with quite a few fixings. Here's the pitch. And it's inside. Odor jumps out of the way, and the count has gone full. 3 balls and 2 strikes on the Rangers' second baseman. That was Prince Fielder, hoping for a chance here in the 8th inning. Chews at second with 2 down. And the 3-2 pitch is fouled back to our left. Odor, slow start, sent back to the minors. Been hot lately. Flash told you, American League Player of the Week. Swing and a miss, strike 3. An impressive inning for Caleb Topham. Picks up a couple of strikeouts. The Rangers lead a runner at second. Last chance for the Yankees. course. The Orioles won tonight. The Blue Jays won. The Rays lost. And the Red Sox lost as well. So there's the standings. The Yankees need to rally here and keep it here after the last out for the W.B. Mason post game for highlights, analysis, and a full game breakdown. Let's get the clubhouse reaction and Joe Girardi's thoughts on the manager's report. It's all coming up on the W.B. Mason Yankees post game. That's only on Yes. New pitcher for the Texas Rangers, Sean Tollison. He's their closer. He has 17 saves. And the first pitch to Carlos Beltran is in their first strike. Now Monday during batting practice, it's Kayla running into Tollison, and Tollison took the brunt of it. In fact, he was shaken up quite a bit. They were not sure if he's going to be available for Monday's game or this series, but he's in there tonight. Those are his numbers on the year. 2-2, 17 out of 18 in the save department. Beltran lets a fly ball to left field. Hamilton almost in his tracks, now comes in a few steps, makes the catch. The Yankees are down to their last 2 outs. Tollison, Yankee fans might remember Wayne Tollison. This is his son, Sean. Wayne was an infielder. Headley takes a pitch for a call strike. And Sean's dad also played for the Texas Rangers. Swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. So the Rangers trying to get to the win column in this series. The Yankees have won the first 2 games. Final game will be tomorrow night right here on Yes.
What you liked about Tollison's numbers, he only walked 8 in 40 innings.
Call strike 3. Headley caught looking.
He's come out of the bullpen tonight firing strikes. Easy fly ball to Beltran, strikeout to Headley.
You know, that's a good look at the pitch, but it's been slowed down. You get a better ability to appreciate how fast the ball goes to home plate if you play that full speed. Here's Garrett Jones, who represents the Yankees' last chance. Got to keep it going. They're down by 3 with 2 outs here in the 9th. First pitch is in there for a strike, 93 miles an hour. Jones 0 for 3 on the night. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch, 0-2.
Well, we were wondering early on how the Texas Rangers would respond after that beatdown last night, 21-5. Well pitched ball game by Colby Lewis. The bullpen has done its job to this point.
Call strike 3 and the ball game's over. Tollison gets the Yankees 1-2-3 here in the top of the 9th, and the Texas Rangers come away with a 5-2 victory in the 3rd game of this series. So they are in the win column. Here's a look at the slow-mo version. And here comes the next one. This is real speed. Can you hit it? Garrett Jones could not. And the Yankees go down. Rangers win this one 5-2. They get to celebrate tonight. We'll be right back.